Alright, so you just got your first guitar, you're an absolute beginner, you know nothing about it, and you just want the bare bones of just getting to maybe play a few chords. Well, the first thing you need to know is you do need to know what each of these strings are open, because we need to make sure those are in tune first before you even get started. With, remember that the low string here, which is your 6th string, is E. Okay? So there's your E string, open. The next one is A. Next one is D. Next one is G. Next one's B. The last one's E. Okay? So I'm going to hit each one 4 times here just so you can hear what it sounds like. So your low 6th string, and remember when you're tuning, you're going to tune accordingly to match up to with when you're tuning to each peg here. So even though it seems obvious, here's your 6th string here, okay, wrapped around to this. Here's your 6th string here, it goes to this peg here, okay. So here's your low E. I'm going to hit each one 4 times. Your E, okay. Next one is A. Your 4th string is D. Your 3rd string is G. Your 2nd string is B. Your last string is E there, which is the 1st string here. Now there's different ways to remember the names of the strings open, and I'll have those written below. Also too, while you're playing, keep this in mind that as I was hitting each string, I took the pick and I would stop on the next string. They call it a rest stroke. So you don't end up doing this. So you don't hit both strings. So as you're picking that string, whichever one you're on, you hit the string and you fall into another one, the next, and you just fall into the next string. Okay? They call it a rest stroke. You just sort of stop on the next string. Okay? That might help you out a little bit in the beginning as far as worrying about, you know, hitting it open and hitting other strings while you're doing that. And what I want to do is show you just a few chords here just to get you started. So now we know the names of the strings: E, A, D, G, B, and E. So one of the easiest chords to start with is an E minor. Okay? And reason being is the way it's shaped. You're only using a few fingers. Remember this is that you're going to make a C shape with your hand, okay? And a lot of times when you're doing these chords, keep this in mind that you're using the tips of your finger. So as you're making the C shape, take the C shape and then put it around the guitar, okay? Now as you make the C shape and you put it around the neck of the guitar, now keep this in mind too that these little metal areas here, those are frets, okay? So anytime that we're referring to which fret that you're on, you're referring to that little metal area there that goes right across. And keep this in mind that the closer your finger is to the fret, the better you're going to get a sound out of it. If I said to play the 6th string in the 5th fret, we go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your 5th fret on the 6th string. Of course, you're not going to play it that way, you're going to play it this way. Now, the closer you are to the fret, the better odds you're going to get a better sound out of it. Okay? Now if I go 2 below, I'll get a buzzing sound. So we want to stay as close as possible to that fret. And as I said before, that was the 6th string and that was the 5th fret. If I said to go to the 5th fret on the 5th string, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? If I go 2 below, or too close to the previous fret there, I get a buzzing sound. So So you're not going to get a good sound out of it that way. So you want to stay as close as possible, because that's how you create the sound, close as possible to the fret. Okay? So we're going to show you a chord here, E minor chord. We're going to use our second and third finger, and again we're going to keep that C shape, grab it around the guitar, okay, grab it around the neck, and you're going to put your second finger on the 5th string of the 2nd fret. And go ahead and hit that note. That's what it should sound like. Okay? Again, that's the 5th string, 2nd fret. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 1, 2. Second finger though. Okay? Then what you're going to do is take your third finger and put it pretty much right next to it. But now that finger's going to go on the 2nd fret, but this is going to be the 4th string. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? 2nd fret. So here's what you got. The first note, there's the second note. Okay? And there's your E minor. Play all the notes together. Using the tips of your fingers as you're coming down. Okay? You don't want to flatten your fingers at all. Now, it's a good idea to play the full chord. Make sure you can hear all the notes. If you don't hear all the notes, you got to go back through and figure out why you're not hearing one of the notes. It could be because maybe one of the fingers is blocking a string. Maybe your third finger here, which is on the 4th string, 2nd fret, could be blocking the 3rd string. It may sound like this. So keep playing till you actually hear the note. Okay? It's a good idea to hit each note individually. So you can figure out where the problem might be. And there's your E minor chord. If you want to make an E major chord, all you got to do is keep the position of those 2 fingers there, and you're going to put your first finger down on the 3rd string, but the 1st fret. Remember what we said about the frets. You want to stay as close as possible to the fret. Okay? So here's that note there. Okay? So your first finger goes there. Now, go back to the E minor, make the shape. Now just add your first finger to the 1st fret of the 3rd string. Now you've got E major. Make sure you can hear each note. Remember, if anything's blocked, you got to see if you can figure out which finger might be the culprit, because you might accidentally be, like I said, falling under another string, accidentally touching it, or maybe you're not close enough to the fret, and that's why you might be getting a buzzing sound. Maybe you're playing your E major like this. Hear that? Hear that buzzing? Stay closer. Okay?